All right, welcome to the first episode of Big Pat Sports Talk, Giants Full Access. We're going to be talking about training camp and other things, and it's going to be like a little call-in show. So if you guys have any call-in or any questions that you want to ask, I'll be here to answer them, and I'll put the link in the chat so I can get some of you guys to call in. But we're going to do that, and we're going to get to the intro. So give me 1 second. Here we go. Welcome to Big Pat Sports Talk. All right, looks like we got our first couple of callers. I can bring in two at a time. What's going on, Jazzy Jeff and Super Taj? What's going on, brothers?
What's going
This
on,
show
Pat?
here is going to be a little different. This show here is about Giants full access. I'm gonna talk about Giants, and I'm gonna bring in callers. And if you guys have any questions for me, if you want to ask me about the Giants, I'm definitely here to debate with you, and we'll continue on. So, what's your question, Taj?
What's my question? Is what's going on with Kenny Galloday, man? Like something kind of seems a little off with him.
That's the question that a lot of people are asking right now. Um, I I'm debating on where I think he's been told that he's not going to be a super focal part of this offense and focal point on this offense. And I think that he knows that his opportunities are not going to be, you know, as big as they were in Detroit. And I think that he came here thinking that things were going to change from Detroit because, he was a loser at Detroit. And so he came here and he was a loser here. And he's not even getting the stats that he was getting with Detroit. So I think that could be weighing on him as well. There's still no excuse to give up. I'm not saying that he has given up, but signs are pointing to that he has given up on the New York Giants. And it's kind of a shame. But we can get out of that contract after this year. So we will see about Kenny Galloday though when it comes to the first preseason game. If that first team offense is on the field and he's not getting many snaps, you know what it is. Or if he goes into the season and he's seeing that he's not getting many snaps on the field, and we know what it is then. So that's my answer to that though, man. I'll be honest with you, man. This Kenny Galloday thing is getting a little crazy, man. And I'll be honest with you, I think we still have a good receiving core without him. So, Jeff, what
He's
you
out
got
there.
for me? Yeah, go ahead, Taj. My bad.
I mean, like he's out there, like not even like trying, like running in his routes and stuff. Like as you've seen, Daniel Jones, was trying to throw to Kenny Galladay. I'm guessing it was like supposed to be a time route or a time throw that he was throwing to Kenny Galladay, but Kenny Galladay maybe just didn't put in that much effort into his route, and then it made Daniel Jones just throw the ball away. Pretty much it was.
Right. I don't understand what's going on with Mr. Galladay, but he has to get it together. He's gonna have to do it real soon. But let me get to the next question, Ty. Stay right there in the backstage. I'm gonna bring everybody back after they get their questions out. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Jeff,
How you doing,
Jeff,
Big
can you hear
Pat?
me?
This is NYG Jeffy T from the Big Blue Gazette, and I just want to ask you, what rookie so far in camp has really impressed you so far the most that you really were paying attention to the most going into the beginning of training camp?
The rookie that's impressed me the most going into training camp. Going to be honest with you, the rookie that's impressed me the most is Beavers, Darian Beavers. I know a lot of people want to say Kayvon Thibodeau, but I expected that out of Kayvon Thibodeau. I expect him to come in and dominate from the very beginning. And he's had a pretty good camp as well. But the rookie that I'm most impressed with is Darian Beavers. He's actually earned himself some first team reps at point in times during this camp, and he's giving Tate Crowder one hell of a battle for that second linebacker position. And I believe he's a lot better in zone covers than people give him credit for. And I think he's our best cover linebacker and also our best blitzing linebacker as well. So I can see Darian Beavers getting a lot of time on the field.
Now,
For
I have a
sure.
quick follow-up question for you right after that. This is
Okay.
also coming from the Big Blue Gazette. But I was just wanting to know who has been your biggest disappointment in terms of rookies that you had expectations for going into this training camp and then going into the preseason game. Thank you very much.
My biggest disappointment, I'm going to say Michael McFadden. Michael McFadden, I thought he would actually press to be the starting linebacker opposite of Blake Martinez, but it's looking like he might barely make the squad because he's running with the third team. And so Michael McFadden has been my biggest disappointment as far as the rookies. But as far as like a disappointment, I can't say I'm really disappointed in any of the rookies, but if I have to choose one, it's going to be Michael McFadden because I really thought that he could push for some starting snaps at that middle linebacker position opposite of Blake Martinez.
I'm actually a little
But
bit disappointed that Austin Allen hasn't really done a little bit more because you figure now a lot of people are talking about this guy possibly being somebody that could compete for that tight end 3 spot, and he's pretty much been towards the back end of the depth chart. But you figure now with Andre Miller's unfortunate injury that he might be able to take advantage of it. But I mean, the tight end position is a little bit of the concern right now, behind the rookie Daniel Bellinger. So.
right. I was just seeing Hit Squad come in. You're right after Nimar Hit Squad. Jeff, I'm gonna put you in the back, but stay on if you want to come back and join the panel afterwards.
Thank you, Pat.
All right, and I'll be right back with you guys. Nimmer, what's going on, Nimmer?
What's up? Do you think Keelan Doss could make the roster?
It's definitely an opportunity for him to make the roster because of the struggles of Darius Slayton. I have to see what they like in Richie James. I really think they like Richie James, but I think he's going to be fighting Seals, Foster, Slayton, and Colin Johnson for the probably that last receiver spot because unless they find a trade partner for Slayton, I don't think they're going to get rid of him unless they find a really good trade offer for Darius Slayton. So I think Doss is going to be fighting with those 4 receivers for that last receiver spot right after Richie James, to be honest with you.
Makes sense. Cool.
All right, you got another question, man. Go ahead, shoot, man. Go ahead.
Alrighty. Yeah, the same thing as Jeffy said. Austin Allen hasn't done anything, and I think Daniel Bell is going to ball out.
I like what Joshua said right here about Austin Allen. He says Austin Allen is an undrafted free agent. I don't know how you could be disappointed in him, and I kind of agree. Austin Allen is an undrafted free agent. He was not highly touted in the draft. I think we got to steal with him in the undrafted free agency. You got to think if you're disappointed in Austin Allen, you should be disappointed in just about every tight end on this roster besides Daniel Bellinger, because who's done anything? Yep. Andre Miller was an undrafted free agent. He was getting first team reps. So that tells you what these tight ends have been doing in camp. Jordan Akins, Austin Allen, Ricky Seals-Jones. We haven't even seen on the field. We haven't even seen him on the field since the beginning of mini camp. And the injury hasn't been disclosed. So what's going on there? So I really can't be disappointed in Austin Allen. I just want him to step up and take that opportunity And the only way he's going to be able to do that is making his reps count in the preseason, because Brian Daboll said that everybody's going to play. So I really can't be disappointed in Austin Allen. But let me get to the next person. Nimmer, stay in the back. Go ahead.
Do you think the offensive line is a concern because we've lost a few players? Or
the offensive line is going to be a concern until week 1 when we play against the Tennessee Titans and we see exactly what they can do. The offensive line is always going to be a concern because we're the New York Giants. Our offensive line has been terrible since 2012. So everybody on that offensive line is going to be concerned until we see the final product. That's just my opinion about it.
Makes sense.
All right, Nimmer, let me get to the next question. And if you want to come back on later, stay in the back.
Alrighty.
My next guest, Mr. Hit Squad Productions. It's been a long time, brother. How you feeling, man?
Hey, man, it's definitely been a long time, man. I'm doing pretty good. How are you, man? How's everything going?
Man, I'm good. Just came up with a new idea today. Giants Full Access. I do a little show where people come in and call. You give me some questions and I answer them. So
go ahead, Hit. I like that now because it's very, interactive. And I like some of these questions that are being asked. Jeff kind of took one of my questions because I had a couple, but it's all good. So I guess my first question is, I think everyone got a different viewpoint of where this team is at. We got some similarities where, some of our strengths and weaknesses with this team. But with the preseason coming up, like, what are you specifically looking for? I know the O-line's in question. I'm excited to see this team back on the field. The starters are going to be playing. Dable had said we don't know how much, but what's something that you're looking at or think that the folks should look at, like, number one?
As far as the Giants in general?
Yeah.
The first thing that we should be looking at is the offensive line. That's the very first thing we should be looking at.
It's true.
The offensive line is the very first thing we should look at because that's the most glaring thing that we needed to work on during the offseason. I believe we had the worst offensive line of football. A lot of people might say it was the Bengals, but I know for a fact that ours was the worst in football. Our offensive line was unwatchable the last 2 years, to be honest with you, the last 2 years. So that should be the very first thing that we look at with this Giants team going into the preseason. If you want me to elaborate a little bit more, the second thing we should be looking at is the cornerback room. Now, this is a two-part question. First, we got to see exactly what our defensive front is. Is it legit as we think that it's going to be? Because if it is, and they're getting back there and our DBs are still getting burnt, that means our DBs have a long way to go. They have a long way to go. So if we're getting pressure with our front seven and they're still getting burnt, we got a problem. And I'm gonna take this further, Hick, because that's a good question. The fans need to know what they should be looking for going into preseason. So that's what this question is going to be. What should you be looking for when we go into this preseason? First, the offensive line. Can they protect Daniel Jones? Can they protect Tyrod Taylor when he's in there? Second, the DB room. Can they get people off the field? Can they make those quick tackles when Wink gets the pressure to them? Now, I'm not saying that Wink is going to be sending exotic blitzes through preseason. We might see a lot of the vanilla defense. So we're really going to see what these DBs look like in the preseason. But I'm more concerned about can they make the tackles or get the offense off the field when they have to throw a 3-yard route on 3rd and 7 and they can make the quick tackle. That's what I'm looking for. Third, we all know the enigma of Daniel Jones. Not going to go into the whole Daniel Jones segment here on this show, answering your guys' questions. But you have to look at Daniel Jones. And the last thing that I'm going to say is health. Who survives? Who survives the preseason? Who survives to go into the regular season? That's what I'm looking for. But go ahead with your next question, Hit.
I liked how you ranked those because we're pretty similar with the things that we're looking at first. My second question, I was thinking about this today. I know a lot of Giants fans, I mean, if you see it on Twitter right now, are tagging the Giants to go sign Roquan Smith. As much as I love it, I don't really see it happening. But I will say this much. With Slayton not really getting the reps that we think that he should be getting, he's playing with what, the third team, at this moment. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, is it possible that, let's say, game 2, maybe game 3 of the preseason, New York calls Chicago for Tevin Jenkins? We know how thin this offensive line is at the moment. I mean, uh, if they're not going to let this kid play, and Richie James is looking pretty good, I mean, why cut him? I mean, try to get something of him. I mean, I think Shane might have to do something similar to what Gettleman did last year. So, I mean, do you see something like that happening, or do you think Slayton's just going to be on this roster, but he's wide receiver 5 at this point?
Okay. I'm going to answer that question. NYG, I see you in the back. You're next. I'm gonna answer that question. As far as, are you saying that do you think we should trade for Roquan Smith, or is
Oh,
this
no. Do you
just
think we
about?
should send Slayton and maybe, let's say, a 6th-rounder to Chicago for Tevin Jenkins with how thin this offensive line is?
Okay. I'm gonna answer this question to you. I want you to look at an interview with Tevin Jenkins when he was answering questions with the Chicago Bears.
Okay.
I think that dude is untouchable. I think his confidence is shaken. And I think what's happening over there in Chicago with him could be the same thing that's happening with Kenny Galloday over here. They look the exact same. They look like their confidence is shaken. They look like they're really not wanting to be there with the particular team. And there's no way I trade for a guy whose confidence has been shaken, especially an offensive lineman. Do you know how hard it is for an offensive lineman to shake back when his confidence has been taken away?
Oh, it's
For
hard.
whatever reason, it is over there in Chicago, because I know he came in and they made him be this big burly lineman, and now all of a sudden they're running a zone blocking scheme and they want him to lose weight, and now he's not getting reps and his confidence is all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no way I can bring a guy like that into a situation here in New York. Do you know the pressure that the offensive linemen are under here in New York? And do
Yeah.
you want to trade for a confidence shaking offensive lineman? And I can't give up Slayton for pennies, man. Believe it or
Nah,
not,
and
the
I
guy
and I
that's
hear that. Yeah.
go ahead.
Oh, no, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I was just agreeing with
But
you.
I was going to say, believe it or not, the guy that's waiting to get his question in, it's been talking about Slayton a lot, and he's been making a lot of sense. People forget that this guy was slated to be a number 1 receiver for us after his rookie year. He had an outstanding rookie year. He was making catches. He was mousing people his rookie year.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people forget that Detroit Lions game when he moused 2 people in that game to get 2 touchdowns.
Yep.
And when Daniel Jones was throwing it deep, when he was getting those deep touchdowns, Slayton was the guy. And so that regime might have hurt Slayton as much as they hurt Daniel Jones, as much as they hurt Caden Smith. You don't know. We just have to see him in live action. And if he shakes back, he's one of the best receivers on this team.
And you make
Honestly.
some good points there. And I'll be honest with you, I'm not off of the Darius Slayton train yet. I think of, I mean, even last year, I thought that he had his moments where, it kind of was reminiscent of his rookie season. I mean, I know you mentioned the Detroit game, but go back and look at that Jets game. I mean, when he's locked in, I mean, he doesn't play like a 5th-rounder. I mean, I think right now he's kind of playing like a 5th-round pick. So that's why I'm not too entirely upset with the kid. But I do agree with you. I'll be honest with you. As bad as, we need some depth on this offensive line, I don't know. I mean, I haven't seen the particular interview that you're speaking of, but I mean, I've seen some threads from some Bears fans saying that, they're not too sold on him. They question his effort. I mean, and we're having conversations on Galladay's effort. So, why bring someone in that's that, I don't want to say shell shock, but when you're losing your confidence, I mean, you said it best. It's hard to get that back. I
Right.
mean, and you can honestly, you can kind of make the same argument for Darius Slayton. Who's to say that his confidence hasn't been really shaken? I mean, these players hear the criticism. They hear it. They may not, respond back to you like KD, but they hear it one way or another. So I agree with you, Pat. I personally, as intriguing as it might be, because I mean there is upside with Tevin Jenkins. I just don't think that right now we can risk it. I mean we can't. And I know that you got someone backstage, so I'll make it quick. But me personally, long
Actually,
story short,
NYG left, so
oh, he left. All right, so then
yeah.
I'll make it a little lengthier instead of making it quick. But I mean, you look at this receiving core. I mean, it was just. I mean, we don't know how serious it is. I'm not making a big deal out of it. But I mean, you had Tony getting worked on with the trainers for his right knee today. So you know these wide receivers, especially Galladay, you know they're injury prone. But outside of drops, you know what you're going to get with Slayton. I mean, he's relatively healthy. He has speed, which is what we need in this offense, I think. And if he's my wide receiver 5, I'm not complaining. I'm really not. And especially if we could get a healthy Shepard back at some point in the season, or if Richie James can really step up. You know, I can't trade him away right now, unless you get an enticing offer by, let's say a playoff team come, right before the trade deadline. But nah, I can't do it.
Yeah, I can't give up Slayton for peanuts. Hopefully NYG can come back with his question. He might be at work. That's probably why he had the dip.
I mean, me too, honestly. I mean, we ain't doing nothing, so I'm just my mic muted. I work from home, so I'm chilling at the moment. But let me ask you one more question real quick, Pat.
Go ahead.
I know Aziz is dealing with that little hamstring. I'm not too worried about him. I got him primed for a breakout year. Who gets more sacks this year, him or Kayvon? If you had to put money on it, who's going to get more sacks by the end of the year between those two?
Between
Aziz and Kayvon.
Aziz and Kayvon. Oh, all right. NYG is back. Let me bring him on while we have him. But let me answer that question real quick. What's going on, NYG 22? Brother, what's going on?
What's good? Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you. I'm going to say Aziz Ojolari gets more this year. I'm gonna put you in the back. I'm gonna give NYG his time, and then if you wanna come on the panel at the end of the questions, just stay in the back.
I got
what's
you,
good,
bro.
Head? What's good with you?
Hey, what's going on, NYG 22? Hope you're doing good, brother.
Yeah, you doing the same, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Boys.
All right, NYG 22, what's going on, brother? Go check out this man's channel. Also, let me say this: check out this man's channel, check out this man's channel, and check out this man's channel. Super Taj, hardest man, working man in Twitter. Jazzy Jeff with his updates every day. Hit Squad Production has his channel, and NYG 22 has his channel. Go check out those guys' channels and hit that like and subscribe button. But let's get back to NYG 22.
What's good, bro?
Right, let's go. Not much, man. Let's go. Just something new.
Appreciate the show, and I'm gonna respect the format. So, my question is: given this wide receiver core, given the injuries, given the underperforming of Golladay, Tony being out, Shepard being on IR, are you concerned at all about the receiving core? And the second part of my question is, and shout out to Lou, brought this up on his show last night. What receivers do you think make the roster?
Oh, that's a good question. Ash, I see you in the back. We got to talk a little bit when you get on here, but I see you in the back, so you're right up right after NYG 22, Ash. Am I concerned about the receiving core as a whole? No. The only thing I would be concerned about the receiving core is injuries. NYG 22. I say if we have a healthy receiving core, we might have one of the best cores on that field. We just need the guy to be able to get the ball to them consistently. And the receivers that I believe that make this roster, Kenny Galloday, if he decides not to hold out or just say I just want out. Wan'Dale Robinson, Kadarius Toney, Riggs, aka Shepard. I'm gonna say Richie James and Slayton.
Okay. Do you think they put Shep on PUP?
If he's not able to go week 1, yes, they'll put him on PUP and they'll bring up Wood Slayton. They're probably it's going to be between Colin Johnson and Seals. I say Colin Johnson makes this team if Kenny Galloday is just a lost cause. Just gonna be honest with you. And I got a couple people in the back waiting to get their question in. Give me one more.
I'm gonna give you one. I'm gonna give you one more on the defensive side of the ball. So, given what we seen last year, and given what we seen thus far in practice, now it's practice. I don't take this practice thing like some other people do on Twitter. It's just practice. But given what we seen, just to make the show interesting, are you concerned at all about the run defense? Now we know about these pass rushers, and I'm with most people. This pass rush is going to be lights out, but they have been getting pushed around a little bit in the run game. So is that a worry for you? Because remember, last year the run defense was not great, and you pretty much bring it back the same guys. But you add in KT and you add in what's the other guy? Ellis, I think it is, the big boy in the middle. So do you think that's enough to boost the run defense, or do you think it's a concern for you?
Mr. Joshua, I'm gonna have to ask you to come on the channel for a second, because every time I get ready to say something, answer somebody's question, you answer it before me. That's exactly what I was gonna say. I'm not concerned because they can't tackle yet. I have to see them on the field to be able to tackle somebody, because a lot of those run plays get off because they can't tackle.
Because they can't
tackle,
only
be in that space. So I really can't judge like things like that. I really can't judge until we play somebody else. You see what I'm saying, NYG?
Right.
But as far as like live action, am I concerned? No. There's no way our run defense is bad as long as Blake Martinez is healthy and as long as Williams is healthy. I believe the way this defense is set up, the only way this run defense is bad is if you run on the outside of us. If Ojulari and Kayvon Thibodeau can't hold that edge, as you know, holding the edge,
and that's kind of where I was going with it. That edge, because remember that we was getting killed last year on the edge. They wasn't coming up the middle; they was coming around the edge on us. And if you remember last year, and that was because a lot of those guys, a lot of those guys weren't, like you said, they weren't holding up. They wasn't setting that edge. So do you think KT, do you think that's one of his strengths? Because I know that some concern was about him coming out of college. I personally don't believe that, but do you think that KT and Ojulari can hold up on the outside as a run setters or edge setters?
Yes, but I think it's going to take time. Kayvon Thibodeau, he's been having a great camp, but it's going to take time for him to learn how to do everything that the edge is supposed to do as far as setting the run edge. I think Ojulari got in the weight room to do that. Ash, you're up next. Adam, AC, I see you back there. Haven't forgot about you guys. I will get you in right after this question. We'll have to see, because I believe that that's where Roche comes into play. You might see Roche get a lot of time against the Tennessee Titans. You want to know why? Because they run the ball a lot. So first down, second down, don't be surprised if you don't see Thibodeau on like a couple of first downs and you see Roche in there and Ojulari in there. You see what I'm saying? Because our edge rushers against the run, Ellison Smith can't play the run very well. And Tamon Fox can't do it, or
I know Zimenez can. Yeah, I know he can't play the run at all.
Our edge people is going to have to be Ojulari, who still has questions, Thibodeau, who still has questions. He's a rookie, but we know for sure Roche can do it, and Roche might find a role in this defense on first downs, especially when we're playing teams like that. So you have a right to have a concern, but I'm not concerned. As long as we got Leo Williams and Blake Martinez is healthy and Dex is healthy, I think we stop the run, and I don't think it's a question. But NYG,
you get somebody else in.
Yeah, for real, man. Stay in the back when I bring the panel for the last couple of minutes and let everybody say what they got to say. Stay in the back for me if you can, okay?
All right, I got you, bro.
All right. Ashmani.
Yo, what's going on?
What's going on? This is a new platform, new format. You know, people come on and ask their questions. I I don't think we got into it on Twitter, but a lot of people say we did get into it on Twitter. I don't understand that. It was just a difference of opinion. But what's your question, Big Ash?
I don't really, have your question. It's been a while since we talked. How do you feel about, like basically the outlook? I saw something earlier today. It was saying like Brian Dable has to remind himself that like this isn't year 4 with the Bills. This is year 1 with the Giants. And I see something about like the offense and how like he's not like dumbing it down, but he's kind of taking it and kind of making a smaller sample size. That's why you don't see a lot of motions. That's why you don't see a lot of I think he's going to have the receivers go back to like running the design routes. That's why you see the offense looking more stagnant this week of practice. So like, how do you feel about the offense? Like, do you see something different, or do you feel about it the same?
I'm gonna answer your question with a statement. Giants fans, we have to know that this is going to be a rebuilding process. Like for all the Giants fans who feel just because we got a new regime, we're supposed to win 13, 14 games and go deep into the playoff run. And some people even think we should be winning a Super Bowl year 1, believe it or not. We have to know that this is a process. No matter how long the process is or how short the process is, it's a process. This team has to gel together. You got to know that it was a lot of turnover from last year's team to this year's team, which should have happened. It's a different playbook. It's a different defensive scheme. It's a different offensive scheme, different blocking scheme, different route trees, route concepts. They're asking Daniel Jones to do different things. Can he live up to what they want a quarterback to do in their system? We will see. We get some live action in 2 days. 2 days because the game is on Thursday. So we get live action in about 3 days. And we're going to start to see what this team is about. You don't bring out everything in the preseason. Yes, the offense is going to look vanilla in the preseason because you don't want to show your hand in the preseason, but you do want to put in some plays to see exactly what these players are about because people are fighting for roster spots. So Giants fans, you just have to take in consideration that this is a process. Everything is not going to happen like magic and poof, we're just going to be good. A lot of people, but the Bengals did it in one. No, they didn't do it in 1 year. That was 5 years of good drafting. And they finally were healthy in a whole year. And Joe Burrow's a good quarterback. I'm not going to say great. He's a good quarterback. And they had a nucleus around him. Do you know that man had 3 very good receivers with a tight end that was very good with one of the top running backs in the league? So, of course, they could do things when they're all healthy and their offensive line is not performing the way they should perform. You got freaking what's the receiver over there? I always forget his damn name, but he's one of the best in the game already after his rookie year, Jamar Chase. You got Jamar Chase breaking down freaking Jalen Ramsey in 0.2 seconds. You know how fast Aaron Donald got there, and Jamar Chase was already waving that he was wide open, but Aaron Donald got in there so fast. So if you got a receiver that could do that to the top DB in the league, you don't think that offense can function?
They literally would have won the Super Bowl if Aaron Donald didn't get through. I think people have to understand, like, this is, like, it's going to be sloppy, like, these, I mean, not like last year, but it's going to be sloppy these first couple of weeks. Like, I see, like, a lot of people say, like, oh, well, we put a Panthers week 2. Like, I think that game is going to be more close than a lot of people think. Right, like, so I wouldn't necessarily call that a win. Like these first 4 weeks, just as easily as we could go 2-2, we could go like 1-3, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So, and I think we're in a better position than other teams that go into a rebuild. Like, you have 2 edges that look to be good. 2 tackles, bookend tackles that look to be good. you have a good safety, and you have two good wide receivers, if they can stay on the field with Tony and Wandale, like, we're in a good spot. Like, we're not just completely starting from scratch. And, like, a lot of people got to say, like, this team was left in a mess last year. Like, a lot of bad contracts, a lot of, like, we're struggling just to get above the cap, to be honest. Like, it's come down to that, whether or not we need to cut a receiver just because he makes $2 million. Like, a receiver still on the rookie contract. But I think, honestly, like, my output for the Giants, I think we'll be around that 6 to 7 win mark. This is the first time in a while where, like of course I care whether or not, like, the win, how we look on the field, or whether or not the win-loss record is, but I'm just gonna let it play out. These guys look like they have a good vision going on. So we just got to give them the time that they need. I say 2-3 years, at least 3 years, depending on how, like, the whole Daniel Jones things goes. You got to give them the time with their new quarterback when they get one, and have that time gel and have the team. This team has a good young core. I think a lot of people don't realize that. They have a good young people that they can build a team around on the offensive and defensive side of the ball. So,
right. But I got to get to the next person, Ash. I appreciate you coming on. If you want to stay on the panel later, stay in the back. I'm going to have a panel, and then we're going to get out of here after the questions. But stay in the back if you want to come back on, bro. Thank you for tuning in.
No problem.
Authentic. Alex, thank you for tuning in, bros. Call in if you got a question. All right. I believe this is Mr. Adam Costas.
Yes, it is. Good guess.
What's going on, Mr. Adam? what you got for me, bro?
How are you? Now, my question, I guess, is where do you think Darian Beavers is going to land on this team in terms of the starting rotation, or how much burn do you think he's going to get?
Okay. As far as him landing a starting role, I believe he has a heck of a chance to land a starting role, because it's between him and Tate Crowder right now. And if Wink Martindale wants to be more aggressive, I think he's going to go with Beavers. If he wants to lay back a little bit more as far as, not blitzing as much, he might keep Tate Crowder in there. But I think Beavers is a better player. He's bigger. I think he's just as fast. I think people don't realize how fast that guy really is. And Beavers has pass rush ability as well, if you don't know. Look at his film at Cincinnati. As far as him getting that starting role, I give him a 50% chance, but I definitely know he's going to get some playing time, Adam, for sure.
Do you think he'll be the starter by the end of the year?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. That's I agree with that. That's what I believe as well. As for Quincy Roche, I don't think he's going to make the team because he's on the third string right now, and he's not doing anything. Yes, he's on the third team in practice. That's where he's been all training camp long. I'm hoping you're right that he makes the team, but right now I'm not sure that happens, especially with O'Shane Jimenez basically balling out at camp. If you look at the depth chart right now, they have Aziz. It's Thibodeau, Aziz, Jihad Ward, O'Shane Jimenez, Elgin Smith, and then Quincy Roche. So for me, I don't want Jimenez on the team, and if you're looking for money, that's the guy I would trade, because I think there's going to be some trades at the end of this training camp. I think there's going to be some guys who are going to be, whether it's Darius Slayton, whether it's O'Shane Jimenez. Some of these guys might not make the team, but they might be on someone else's team, and hopefully they can get us some value. So if that's what they have in mind, then Quincy Roche will be on the team. I'm afraid right now he's not getting the reps needed to be where you say he is. And I agree with you. I think it's pretty good. A lot of people are disappointed that he is on the third team. They don't know why. There's not been any explanation. He doesn't seem to be moving out of the third team, and that's a little disconcerting right now. So.
Well, a little bit of news. I did hear this about Shane Jimenez today. I think he hurt his groin today. I think he'd be day-to-day.
Well, then Roche's going to make the team then, because because Shane Jimenez, ain't never coming off the injury list now. So,
right. But
I mean, like Ricky Seals-Jones, I'm sorry, you're not making the team, bro. If you're not even here for game one.
I think he's in danger too, Adam. I'll be honest with you. I think he's in danger of not making his team because if Andre Miller was getting first team snaps,
right?
Shit, him or Jordan Akins might not make this team.
Right. Well, Jordan Akins might by default just because they lost Andre Miller, but Ricky Seals-Jones, I don't even see him on a milk box. Like, where's that guy?
Right.
Like, like Bill Bruin LeBrock said, he's in witness protection. He's worse than witness protection. Like witness protection, you at least out and you change your name to something else, right? This guy is nowhere to be found. And it's kind of interesting because, a guy like Daniel Bellinger, while I like him, is going to have rookie growing pains. So it'd be good to have a guy to lean on, like a Ricky Seals-Jones, to kind of get experience out there, right? But now you have Daniel Bellinger. You're probably going to keep Jeremiah Hall, who now takes over for Andre Miller. I hope Andre Miller makes the team. His forearm is broken, but I don't know how. You can come back from a forearm. Let's be honest. You know what I'm saying? It's not season ending or career ending. But I would like to see what they do with the tight ends. I'm interested on Thursday to see who starts and who finishes the games, right? Because that'll kind of give us an indication of who may be getting reps. Because the first game nowadays is like the last game, right? You're giving basically a dress rehearsal to the young guys. Daniel Jones probably get 10 plays or a drive or two. He'll be out, and then you'll see the young guys playing. The guy that I really want to see, though, who's not a tight end as a receiver, is Keelan Doss. I've heard he's been doing pretty well in practice, and I'd like to see what he can do against live competition.
Me too. Alex, if you want to come on and ask you a question, you can, but you're making some very good points. Bellinger, Myrick, and Allen, I'm kind of worried about the tight end position if those are the three guys we're going in with in the regular season. Not because I don't think they can play, it's because there's not much experience there at the tight end position.
Well, look out for Ebron and the waiver wire. I mean, Ebron and the waiver wire, depending on what happens, he may be on there. The only problem with Ebron is you might have to wait till week 2 to sign him because you don't want to guarantee his money. So
right.
If you don't get anybody on the waiver wire when you do the transactions at the end of August, right, and you decide we're going to wait for Eric Ebron, well, that's great, but are you going to bring him in and guarantee his contract, or are you going to wait 2 weeks and then sign him where it's not guaranteed? Because I know they don't have that much money in the cap. So any guys after week 2 probably would be more beneficial to the team because you can cut them with no recourse. So.
Okay, yeah, that's good information as well. But I think Eric Ebron is definitely in the play if we get another injury scare at tight end. Ojulari's status, I heard that he's able to run around and things. If we had to play the week 1 this upcoming game, he probably wouldn't be able to play, but he should be able to play by week 1. Hamstrings are different from every athlete.
Let him rest as much. Authentic, I don't have as much faith as you do in this guy, but hey, I don't have faith making it off the bus, let alone the team. But that's okay.
It's man, it's weird because we have no update on Ricky Seals-Jones. Nobody said anything.
He's been unknown for weeks.
Like nobody has said anything. That's weird, bro.
And nobody's asked. No beat reporter has been like, "Hey, is that your tight end? Is he healthy? What's going on?"
Like nobody cares.
We don't even see him in the building. Like, hello, he's not on the side. He's not in the training room. We don't see him working out with nobody. Like,
I haven't seen him lift weights since the beginning of the process.
I mean, hello. This is Ricky Seals-Jones agent.
Right, right. I haven't seen dude for man. Like,
I don't know how you can make the team.
Protection.
I don't know how you can make the team if you haven't done anything. Like, you haven't done anything. Like, it's not like Ricky Seals-Jones is an Eric Ebron. He's a talented guy who's done some things. The guy has been a journeyman. And now all of a sudden you're like, oh, well, he's going to make the team. Like, doing what? Unless he has nude photos of Brian Dable or something like that. I don't see him making the team. It's like, oh, hey, Brian, you want me to make the, you want to cut me? Don't forget these. Don't forget these. Like, I don't know. Anyways, Pat, I just want to come on and say hi. Just chat real quick, and I got to go get some things done. But thanks for having me.
All right, man. Good hearing from you, Adam, man. But yeah, I haven't seen that dude at all, bro. It's crazy. This show's gonna be about an hour, so Hopefully the guys are still here on the panel, but yeah, I haven't heard from Ricky since.
I
Dog, that
What's
shit
going on
took
next
me
year?
out, dog.
Yeah, I don't know where
bro,
this
I
guy
haven't
is.
seen him since he was signed, bro.
Cause I'm gonna be real with y'all. When y'all brought that point up, like I really sat here and thought, and I was like, I don't think I've seen this man in a Giants picture. I don't think I've seen the Giants upload him on their page.
Nothing.
Right.
I haven't heard any of these beat reporters mention his name. I don't even think I've seen a highlight clip on him like being
Right.
a third
The
team.
reporters haven't even asked about him.
Bro,
Nobody's asked about him.
That man's in a milk cart, man, and nobody cares about him.
This man is somewhere in a white van, and nobody knows where he's at. He's inside of a white van somewhere.
He's a lost cause, whatever.
Right.
Nah, that's too funny. He just collecting a check. Where the hell is that?
Collecting checks.
There's a lot of people on this team collecting checks.
Right.
I know
While you
that's
guys
right.
here, we're gonna get into some New York Giants news and rumors with Big Pat Sports Talk. As you guys know, there was a big fight that went on at camp. It looked like Feliciano got slept by somebody.
That was funny, yo. That was hilarious.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know why.
Did you see the picture?
Did
you see the picture that turned into a meme?
A lot of people don't know why it started, so I'm gonna show you exactly why it started. It was because of this play right here. That play right there started the whole process. So the defense took offense to this because Lord have mercy. In training camp, training camp that there's no hitting really. The defense can't hit the offense, and so Saquon Barkley took the opportunity to run over Aaron Robinson right there, and I think Tate Crowder took offense, and then another play happened to where Feliciano took offense to Tate Crowder getting on Saquon Barkley, and then another play happened. I forgot who it was, but then Feliciano went after that player. And I don't know.
Bobby Johnson.
Yeah, Bobby Johnson came in and pushed Tate Crowder off of Feliciano. I guess he slept Feliciano for a second. Cam Brown had to pull him out the pile. I don't know what happened, but that was the play that got everything jumped off with Saquon Barkley showing some toughness right there. So I'm actually quite proud of Saquon Barkley right there because normally we don't see that from Barkley. So I'm actually happy that he did that. You see what I'm saying? And so this is one last thing. This is a tweet about from Ash. This is one last thing I'm gonna show, and then we're gonna talk about this and we're gonna wrap this up. Let me share my thing real quick. A lot of people are talking about this play right here. It's not a play, but just look at Kenny Galloday.
Tate Crowder and John Feliciano.
Look at Galloday, man.
So, as you can see on that right there, that Kenny Galloday, what the thing that pointed out to me is the shoulder shrug, like, okay, whatever. Now, I know a lot of guys that don't care for the nonsense, and I can understand that. They also said Kayvon Thibodeau was walking on the side, walking off on the side as well. The whole play wasn't shown, so it might be blown out of proportion. But as far as Kenny Galloday right there, I'm not going to say that he's giving up. What's going on, New Yorker? He says we need to move Slayton for a pick. I'm gonna let NYG answer that after we get done with this. He has some valid points about Slayton when he's able to get back on. But
for sure,
what do you guys think about that whole ordeal right there? Me personally, I don't like it because everybody was out there running towards the team. You're part of the team, but you walked off like whatever. You know what I'm saying? You didn't even show any concern. You didn't even stand there and look for a second. You just walked off, shrugged your shoulders like whatever, and just walked off. I don't like it, but I do understand that some guys are just not for the nonsense. And if you're just not for the nonsense, you will react that way. So that's why I'm just waiting for the preseason to see exactly how it goes on. But how do you guys feel about that?
I'm actually kind of in the same boat as you, Pat. I mean, I don't like it. You know, I told y'all personally, I was like, it kind of rubbed me the wrong way. But I also keep in mind that there are some of these players that, you know, they don't really care for it. You know, it's just they'd rather not. Now, there were people also saying that Kayvon was also just standing on the side watching. You know, so I mean, to me, again, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I want to see, you know, his efforts on the field when the preseason comes, when the season starts, and then from there, you know, make my honest observation. But yeah, man. Again, at first it rubbed me wrong, but I'm not really sweating it at this point.
Nimmer, what you think, Nimmer?
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't like it, but I would wait till like preseason and see what happens. Mostly.
Okay. Taj, you already let us know on Twitter how you feel, but if you want to say how you feel about it, go ahead.
Man, Galloday, I don't know, man. Maybe he trying to like stay away like from stuff like that, like because he fragile as hell. So like that's my opinion. But yeah, like I kind of don't like it. But I mean, yeah, I just gotta just wait and see like what happens with him.
All right. NYG, what you think about it? And I'm gonna let you answer a question from the chat. But what you think about it, NYG?
I don't like Kenny Golladay. I mean, to be honest,
Damn.
Kenny,
Talk your talk.
like
hold
nothing
it back.
personal. Yeah, when I say I don't like a person, it's not as a man, as a person. So don't get it twisted. I don't know Kenny Golladay, you know what I'm saying? But as a player, I don't like him, man. He doesn't show no effort. He don't have
Hold
no
back on that
chemistry.
one.
He don't have no chemistry with the quarterback. Even last year, we seen him dog it. You know what I'm saying? He's out there walking around on nonchalant, slipping on the field. You know what I'm saying? Not running proper routes. I seen enough of this dude. $72 million, man. You can kick this dude to the curve and give me Darius Slayton and Colin Johnson. They can fill Kenny Galladay's role. Really, Kenny Galladay don't fit the offense. He doesn't have chemistry. It's like he's not doing anything. The Giants aren't getting their money worth at all with Kenny Galladay on the field or off the field. Now you're supposed to be a leader. Now I know y'all saying like, yeah, some people just don't like to get mixed up in the stuff, but I want to see some damn leadership from Mr. $72 million man. Like, show some heart, man. Show some guts, dude. You out there just running around, pity patting around, man. Like I'm done with Kenny Galladay. Get him out of here, man.
All right, you heard it from NYG. Jeff,
That was great.
Yeah. I mean,
And
that was excellent.
He's not
and that was from the
necessarily
number
off
one
either.
fan. That was the number one fan of the Kenny Galladay fan club right there, NYG22. Bro, guys, I didn't never love the Golladay thing for a while. I just tried to like make believe that it was just because of what you guys were saying and because of the fact that it's a new scheme. Nobody was happy. Everybody was just off. Everybody was banged up. It's a new scheme, new system, that maybe Kenny Galladay would come in refreshed. He would come in like a new player. He'd try to live up to what happened to his contract because he didn't want to be embarrassed after what happened last year. But, I mean, just some of the things that you hear, some of the things that you see. I would take Riggs hopping around on 1 foot right now, playing on one leg, than I would want to see Kenny Galladay out right there. I can't. This is a guy that's supposed to be your number one receiver, a guy that's supposed to be out there leading your team, a guy that's supposed to be the number one target on the outside that's going to help out Daniel Jones when it comes to those fade routes, when it comes to those curl patterns, those sideline routes, fades. Half the time you look at it, it looks like Kenny Galladay doesn't even care. And that's the shame thing about it because the guy is not just like a complete stiff. I mean, you can't be a stiff if you've had a couple of years where you've had over 1,000 yards and you were the number one contested catch wide receiver for a couple of years. So I just think that it's something got to be mentally up with Kenny Golladay. And maybe what you guys were discussing before is that Kenny Golladay might see the writing on the wall and figure that he's probably not going to be here next year because they're going to want their own, big receiver that can separate. And everything you hear in our training camp is that Kenny Golladay can't separate. The cornerbacks don't respect him. They don't respect his speed. He's just pretty much like everybody's glued onto him. And if he just can't make the contested catch, Kenny Golladay is pretty much just another 6'4" guy out there. Like remember Mike Williams years ago from Seattle?
Mm-hmm.
And he played on the Lions. He was a big receiver, but he couldn't separate for nothing. He pretty much had he didn't have a long career in the league. So, I mean, I think he's not going anywhere. I still think they're going to try everything possible to justify that $72 million contract. But I don't love what I hear about Kenny Golladay right now, to be honest. And I don't mind if Slayton is still on the team. So, I mean, I'm going to piggyback a little bit off what NYG said. Slayton still has a skill set that can be used on this offense. He's a deep threat. He's a guy that if you use him situationally, don't play him too much, don't overexpose him, he can be a playmaker on this offense. And I think still clearly, if he just gets himself a little bit right in his head, I think he's still a better receiver than some of the back-end receivers we got on this roster. That's including Richie James, Colin Johnson, David Sills, all those guys, Keelan Doss. It's just all about getting him right in his head. But I don't love what I hear about Kenny Golladay. I'm a little worried about Kadarius Toney because of the knee. I know it shouldn't be a panic thing, but anytime you hear a wide receiver with his cutting ability, where he uses his legs to get open and he's having a little bit of issues, you don't love hearing that so quickly. So I'm a little bit nervous for this wide receiver group. But Golladay, I gotta see this guy go out there and produce this year. Just get him the hell off this team. If he dogs it, yank his ass off the field and put somebody else that's going to put in the work.
I'm with the same sentiments, man.
And just like what you said, Jeff, it's like with the thing with Slayton, we're not asking Slayton to be your number one guy. So it's not like I think Slayton got exposed because he was asked to be a number one receiver, but you're not asking him to do that. Yeah, so I don't see what the problem is with people with Slayton that want to get him out of here. I don't get it, man. The guy, he doesn't do anything wrong off the field. He shows up. He plays in most of the games.
They're tired of the drops. That's why they're tired of him dropping balls and miscommunicating at times.
But as I've shown, other receivers drop passes too. You know what I'm saying? It's just that Slayton is highlighted with him for some reason because he was the number one receiver for the Giants the past 3 years, even last year, because the guys couldn't stay on the damn field, so you had to put Slayton out there.
Hey, I'm going to be honest. Go ahead, Hit. Go ahead.
Oh, no, I'll be quick. I mean, for me, I was really excited when we brought Golladay in. I mean, my video's out there. I'm not going to take it down anytime soon. But, I was excited for the kid. Even this year, having him as our number 3, when you really look at it, getting paid as a number 1, I'm still not even upset about it because when you look at the price tag compared to where the market is, you could call it pennies on the dollar, essentially. I don't think 18 mil is too bad compared to what some of these receivers are getting. But, I'll be real, man. I think that if he can just stay healthy, he's going to be in situations where, he's going to be one-on-one, or you might have a linebacker on him. Because a lot of attention is going to be on Toney. A lot of attention is going to be on Wandale, Saquon. He's going to have his opportunities. And I think that even if he's aware, to your point, Jeff, that this may be his last season, go ball out and go prove to your next team that you still got that in you, that you still got that dog, in you. But yeah, man, I think it's a wait and see approach with this guy. I don't think per se he fits the scheme. I know, we look at it from how Dable used Gabriel Davis. But at the same time, man, he's going to have his opportunities. We just got to hope that he takes advantage of them.
But
Yeah.
I actually got to hop off real quick, guys, because I'm going to go hop on an AK stream to help him out. But I just want to say real quickly, thank you for having me on the stream, Pat. Awesome talking with all you guys. Glad always to represent with the rep it up with the Big Blue Crew. And I want to see Riggs back on the field because I think Riggs is the X factor of this offense. If he can come back, it's going to help out Daniel Jones and the rest of this offense. So take it easy, everybody. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. And thank you for having me on the stream, Pat.
All right, Jeff. Thank you for tuning in, bro.
All right, Jeff. Peace, man.
NYG said his piece about Darius Slayton. You guys really need to check out his channel, man. Not only does this guy come with the unpopular opinion, and he has the, I'm gonna say it, the balls to say what a lot of people don't have to say in this Giants community or about sports. Period. He brings facts and he brings stats for what he's saying. So if you want to go against this guy, you're gonna have to bring it. You know what I'm saying? I've been in a debate with this guy and he brought it. And so if you don't agree with what he says, be on your stuff, have facts, have a basis of what you're saying, because what he's saying about Darius Slayton is true. Darius Slayton was not the only guy who had drops on this team. A guy that everybody loves had the same amount of drops.
Exactly.
And the second guy, everybody said that's the toughest and most dependable dude on this team, Riggs. He only had 2 less drops than what Slayton had. Oh, my goodness. Joe. All right, fellas. I got to let Joe get his question in.
Joe? What's Joe? What's good, Joe?
I got to let Joe get his question in. I'm going to break the panel, let Joe get his question. I'm going to bring the panel right back. Okay, fellas?
No problem.
Good, Joe.
I bet.
Joe, hey. Oh, wow. Oh my goodness.
As you saw, this is a different thing. We're doing a question here. This is Giants Full Access with Big Pat Sports Talk. I let people come in and ask me a question about the Giants. I answer, and we can talk about it for a second. So, what's going on, Joe?
Oh, not much. You're going to outpatient. Moving forward in my progress. Standing up a little bit. Not too stable lately, but we're moving forward.
So what's your question, Joe?
My question?
Mm-hmm.
On the Giants?
Yeah.
Why does anybody... Whoa, Josie, shut up. Dog. That's my question for you. Dog, come on, be quiet. Yeah, mine... Jogie. Oh, somebody's here. Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm on live. Let me get back to you here. I gotta find somehow to curb that.
Are you good?
Yeah, I'm on live.
Oh, okay. I just came to check on you if you needed
Okay.
anything.
I'm glad you did.
Only Joe.
Fucking women, they come in and see me sure I'm alive. My question is, what the word? Why can't anybody be happy with the New York Giants? Why is this got to be wrong or that got to be wrong? Why can't we watch the Giants for what they are? One thing I learned about after that stroke: be happy, be glad that you're healthy, that you're aware of what's going on. Be glad that you're watching the Giants. I mean, my God. How many people sit here and watch sports and don't remember it? Or what about, people can't watch it? They're too tired. Or too out of breath to even watch it. Be glad that you're healthy. Thankful that you're alive, and I'm thankful that I am able to watch it. I just woke up from a nap. I saw you were live. I thought, I'm coming on. And here I am. I'm grateful to be here. I'm glad to be a part of this community. And hey, they should be glad the Giants are at least winning. Let's cheer on the rah-rahs for that a boy, but also it's preseason.
Right.
It's not even football. Be happy that you're just got laughful. That you be happy that you still got all these new concepts, new scheme. You're not gonna see them until week 1. That's been said already.
Yep.
So, why can't you just go out and just root for, I'll play defense, or great play offense, or, well, that sucked offense, you need to work on that more. Or, but, if we win 9, 10, 11 games, hey, we'll be thankful and be grateful and glad that you hit them 10, 11 games. I'm only calling for everyone 8 or 9. But
hey, if we win 7 games, it's better.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I mean, injuries happen. Injuries hurt. It's part of a game. It's part of a. Oh, I can't think of it. A game that take as much heart as it does head, and they both go interact.
And that was your classified.
Oh, Jesus. So get the rest of the guys back on.
Right. All right, family.
Hey, Taj.
Joe.
What's up, Joe? Was on.
What's good, Joe? How you, man?
Last an hour, and you guys always get me. But this was only supposed to last an hour. This is only an hour show. New York Giants full access. But since I got the panel here, I want to ask one last question. Joe mentioned it earlier. Why can't we be happy as Giants fans? Why do we always have to harp on the extreme negative? Why can't we? What's going on, Mont? New Yorker, what's going on, bro?
Hey.
The question I want to ask is why are we acting like we're not the New York Football Giants? Like, if you look at the fan base as it is now, go look at that video that I did if you want to know how I truly feel, because I can't explain it, on this setting in a couple of minutes. But you guys act like we've never won anything. Has the new wave of the New York Giants fans only been Giants fans for like the past 6 to 7 years?
That's all we know. That's all we know.
Because if you really studied your team, because even though I wasn't there during the Lawrence Taylor years in his prime, I still know about the Giants before then. I did my research, and I actually studied on those players before I was born. Do you know that we're the only team in the NFL that can say that we've won a championship in every decade since the 80s? Yep. Mm-hmm. We're the only franchise that can say, not even the Patriots.
Yeah.
We got one in the 80s, we got one in the 90s, we got one in the 2000s, and we got one in the 2010s. So do you really think all this negative stuff we gonna be able to keep this streak going in the 20s? It's 2022. We only got 7 years left to try to get one in this decade before our streak is broken.
Yep.
Do you know how many franchises do you know have more championships than us? The 49ers, the Steelers, the Cowboys, the Patriots. Us
that's
and the Packers
just Super Bowls, though.
Yeah,
that's just Super Bowls, yeah.
As far as championships, we got the most.
Championships?
Yeah,
yeah.
we got, yeah.
Championships, definitely.
Do you guys ever... Go ahead, Joe.
Does anybody think that we're 2-3 years we could be in run for that Super Bowl?
Right.
Yeah. Look, you've seen it being built piece by piece. That's what we saw in the 80s. when the 70s come around, oh, it was so horrible. It was just like the 2010, 2021. It was this team. It was horrible. All you did is just, oh no, oh my God. And you're coming back into it. We're gonna have. Go ahead.
I wanna. Hey, thank you, Pandemonium, for the $5 super chat. He says, "Tell me why we so blind to see that ones we hurt are you and me." It's true. But let me ask you guys this question: why do you think they cover us so much when we're bad?
Because they hate us.
You do know that this is one of the most illustrious franchises, not just in football, in sports. You do know that, right? Why do you think they cover us so much? Do you see them covering the Lions like that?
Hell no.
Look how bad the Lions have been over the years. And I mean years.
Yeah.
Have they ever been covered? Were they covered like this when they went 0-16?
Yeah.
Nope.
But negativity sells. That's what it is. Negativity sells.
But negativity sells with a.
That's
I'm sorry
why
to
they
cut
do
you
it.
off, NYG, but negativity sells with a franchise that is as high as the New York Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Think about that. The only teams that are covered more than us are the Cowboys, and that's about it.
Cowboys, yep, that's it.
And that's
Maybe
because
Pittsburgh.
the Cowboys are America's team. Jerry Jones is a marketing master. He's mastered marketing. The Cowboys will never not be marketed as long as he's alive. And if he taught Stephen Jones anything, Stephen Jones, the Cowboys will be marketed as long as he's alive. But think about that. Everybody wants to get their shits and giggles when the Giants are down. You want to know why? Because the things that I just said, we're the only franchise that you can name that's won a Super Bowl since the 80s. And every decade.
They joke us when we're good. You remember the Eli is lucky. Y'all got lucky with the 2 Super Bowls and all that. They clown us when we're good. When we win the Super Bowls, they clown us.
Name one other quarterback that has 2 Super Bowls they say don't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame.
Exactly. It's crazy,
Terry
man.
Bradshaw has 4 Super Bowls. They didn't say anything about him getting the Hall of Fame. And we all know the steel curtain was the reason why they won those championships.
Yeah, big true.
And then he had Franco Harris. Then he had Lynn Swan. Then he had what's the other receiver, Joe? Stallworth.
Yep.
They had Hall of Famers throughout that whole team, and that defense won those championships. Why do you think that they don't consider Terry Bradshaw one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time? And he got 4 because those defense won those championships.
Yep.
But nobody had a problem about him getting the Hall of Fame. Nobody had a problem about Joe Namath getting the Hall of Fame, and he only got 1. After that, his career was terrible. Dan Fouts, he don't even have 1. And Dan Fouts is not a leader in any category when it comes to quarterback stats. At least Dan Marino was the leader at one point in time, but Dan Fouts wasn't leading in nothing. And then he's a surefire Hall of Famer. Boomer Esiason.
Mm-hmm. The Bengals, yeah.
Why
what I'm saying?
Why can't we just say we enjoy the Giants and we're going to be okay this year? We all see that we're going to be 500. If we were better than 500, yeah, great. If it's just 500 though, or just 8-9, 9-8, I can deal with that. That's an improvement.
Right. We're also a franchise, Joe, that can say that we have the best defensive player of all time.
Yeah, we do.
We can say that.
And we got another one. I'm telling you. Kayvon Thibodeau.
Yeah, he's next, man. I think it's already been written.
Yep,
yeah, he's going to wreck shop, man.
Now, I'll be the first to admit that I was a little nervous. I was. I had my doubts about Thibodeau and the tackle, but then I see the real play. I see he's tired of high school. He wants to build. He wants to make the money. He's hungry, and he's got it. he's where he wants to be.
Shout out to James.
Yep. And when you see a kid, both our first picks are like, what the hell do we get into? I better set my game up. And they are both going at it like dogs. Now you're gonna get beat. They're not gonna know how all the plays the first year. But they're gonna do all right. DJ, gonna do all right. Look, we finally got some blocking for the kid. The first 3 years, he had no fucking blocking. I'm sorry, didn't mean to swear. We just had none. and now we're coming in with blocking. And depth behind him. But this ain't the final line, believe me.
Hell no, D. He ain't training for no Jimmy G.
Yeah, I don't want him.
We still talking about that?
Not Jimmy G, please.
Stop.
I don't want him.
How are we going to trade for Jimmy G? He's going to want $25-35 million. We'd have to go to the giant hole to get him. God.
And for what? We got Jimmy G on the roster already.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah. Kenny Galloday.
Kenny Galloday.
Just to go off what Joe was saying, I mean, this franchise has so many things. I can name so many things about this franchise that other franchises don't have and wish they did. But it's just easier to tap dance on the Giants when they're bad because we are such an illustrious franchise. And for some reason, they don't like this franchise when it's a winner. I guess because in the 70s, they never really thought this franchise would amount to anything. But we drafted a guy named LT, and he changed the fortunes for this franchise. We drafted a guy named Phil Simms that changed the fortunes for this franchise. Carl Banks was here. Harry Carson was here. You know, Mark Bavaro was here. Yep. A lot of those guys, we got a bunch of hard-nosed, tough guys that really wanted to play together, and they won championships. And somebody was right. I believe it was Mont STE. I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong, but they're saying that every time we won a championship, it was luck. Like when Phil Simms won his first one, it was luck. And then when even freaking Jeff Hostetler stepped in, it was luck. Eli's 2 championships against the greatest of all time, the GOAT, Tom Brady. Me and NYG have our thoughts about him. Maybe we'll do a podcast maybe one day and talk about him. I don't know, but the greatest of all time, Tom Brady. He beat him twice at his own game in the biggest game of all. What you play for the damn playing the NFL for, the Super Bowl. He beat him twice in it.
Facts.
With game-winning comeback drive. People don't know that Eli Manning still has the best statistical season of a quarterback of all time. He threw for over 6,000 yards in that one Super Bowl season, and he went ham in the playoffs. The second time we beat the Patriots, he went ham. He threw for over 6,000 yards in the season. And like, if you look at what Artrell Rose says, he says something about Eli just clicked in the playoffs. He was a different dude.
Yep.
And he was a different dude. Regular season Eli, you can debate if he's a Hall of Famer, but when you add playoff Eli to regular season Eli, there's no question. There's no.
And what they measure players off of championships,
right? And he beat the GOAT twice. Stopped the GOAT from having an undefeated season. That should have been enough to get in the Hall of Fame.
And not only that, if you think about it, we had Saquon Clinton won Rookie of the Year. Daniel Jones should have had Rookie of the Year.
That year he should have had Rookie of the Year, but so Daniel Jones, you know.
Yeah, well, who should have Rookie of the Year?
Who got it that year? Was it Kyler Murray?
Yep.
Yeah, Kyler Murray.
And
he was in a way worse situation than Kyler Murray.
Yep. And the next year, we had a left tackle. He should have won Rookie of the Year. He was doing a damn good job. He got developed a little bit, but they got his interest. They got his heart back into it. that man lost all hope the first 6-8 weeks. But he's calmed down. This is what you got to do.
You gotta think on that too, Joe. He was facing some monsters in the beginning of his career too. He was facing like the best edge rushers in the league.
Yeah.
And then now look, I'm glad y'all brought that up because now Andrew Thomas looks like the best of the bunch, given what happened to Mekhi Becton. Yeah. You know, and then you got Wills, and then you got Tristan Wirfs, you know, which Wirfs is a right tackle. So out of the left tackles, Andrew Thomas is the best one as of right now.
And it's not even close. It's not even close.
Look at that, 4 years in a row. We should have had Rookie of the Year. We didn't get it. The guys didn't get it.
What's up, Blue City? Yeah, I mean, just think of the quarterbacks Eli Manning beat to get there. He beat Brett Favre to get to the championship. He beat Aaron Rodgers. Man, he's beat some quarterbacks. That Dallas Cowboys offense with Tony Romo and T.O. and Witten and all those guys that year.
Beat Matt.
Beat Matt Ryan
one year.
Beat Matt Ryan, the wild card. Right?
Yeah.
And then he beat Alex Smith in the 49ers. And he did it at their stadiums. Think about that.
How about showing our team what we really are? We should show a little respect. You should not criticize a little play. Do it. I don't know how people can do it. People get come on here. Oh, DJ's a bum. How? He's never had a blocking offensive line for him for 3 years. Now he's got one. He does. How can you say DJ's not a leader of men? He sure looks it to me. He looks like the last 2 years he was doing what the coaches were doing, but now he doesn't have to do that anymore. They brought a different scheme in. We're seeing a better line. We're seeing a better product. Why can't you sit and root for that? You're not going to go out. You could go to the World Series, but you're not going to. But let's be grateful. Hey, all right, we got a team. They won 9, 10, 11 wins. They got to the playoffs. They got playoff experience. What's the important part? And move on with that. And then bring the go to the next graph. Hey, now we're looking here. We won another 10, 11, 12, 13 games. Hey, we're looking good. Go deeper than playoffs. But we still don't get there. We need that one piece. One piece. That's fun. That's fun to watch again. And still can go, yeah, that guy right there. He's a rookie. Boom, we got him. Guess what?
It's going to take a process, man. But I just think that a lot of these fans have... It's like these fans only like 20, 22 years old or 17 years old. There's a lot of... I don't know. I just think it's a bunch of fans that don't watch the history. I think
somebody put that on Twitter too.
It's crazy. If they did, they're correct. It's like crazy, man. It's like you don't know the illustrious franchise that you root for, bro. Like if you knew what this franchise has done, you would never put a freaking bag over your head. Like what is wrong with you?
Yep.
Save that for the Saints who didn't win until Drew Brees and them came in that 1 year. Say that for the Lions who've never won anything. Say that for the Vikings who've never won anything. Say that for those teams.
Yep.
Hell, Dolphins fans don't even do that, and they ain't won a championship since 72.
They haven't won one. Yeah, that's true.
They haven't won one since 72. It's been over 40. It's been 40 years, over 40 years. It's been 50 years since they won their last championship.
Yep.
You were the franchise that's won one in every decade. So if you're a Giants fan and you have kids and you've had grandkids, they all can say they was part of an era where they seen their team win a Super Bowl just about from the 80s.
Yep.
If you were a parent growing up in the 70s and you saw your first Super Bowl in the 80s with your children, then your children saw their first Super Bowl probably in 2000 with their
86.
children.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I saw mine 85, 86.
Yep.
And I saw the next one 90. Then it saw the next one in 2000. Not 2000.
Think about this. Most Cowboy fans, they can only brag about their team making it to the playoffs, but they can't win. They can't really brag about Super Bowls to us, only because their Super Bowl era came in the 70s, 90s. And then they won in the 90s.
Yep.
Other than the 90s, they can't say they won shit.
No, but they say they're always going to go back to the Super Bowl every year.
Yeah, but who cares? You haven't won shit since 95. Even the Eagles done got a Super Bowl since then. We've been to what? 3 since then?
Yep.
Won 2 of them?
Yep. 2000.
We've been to 3 Super Bowls since the last time the Cowboys won a Super Bowl. Not just playoff. We've been to 3 Super Bowls.
Yep. And it's nice to watch something like that. We're watching the team grow together. We're learning.
Do you know that we were the only team holding down the NFC East when it came to Super Bowls until the Eagles won in like 2017? Guess what? We made it to 3. Nobody else made it to the Super Bowl, but we did.
Yep, we did.
Yep.
You know how I could keep going on and on about this franchise, about what nobody else was doing?
Hey, good, yeah.
But hey, look, you want to talk noise about us. It's cool because I know what our franchise has done. And I'm cool. I've seen 3 Super Bowls. And we won 2 of them.
Yep.
Yeah, I think a lot of what you're saying, Pat, is on point. A lot of these fans are younger fans, and all they've seen is, if they lucky, they seen the Giants win in 2011. You know what I'm saying? And so they don't know anything else past that, and all we've been doing is losing since then. So you know, it does something to a fan base when you have a decade of just losing seasons, you know. But the Giants are back because the bread and butter with this team, out of all these Super Bowl eras, was the offensive line and the defensive line. And as I pointed out, and those 2 are coming back. We gonna have a damn good offensive line. And this is one of my hot takes, one of my unpopular opinions. Our offensive line and our defensive line got the potential to be top 10, both.
Yeah.
And sacks and you know, not sacks given up, you know, however that stat works. But they can be top 10 in both. And that's one of
that offensive defensive line right there. I want to say something on that. Why are you fighting about our offensive line? Why are you fighting about our defensive line? Don't you realize you're the best coordinators coaching those guys up? They're getting chippy now. They are tired of this. They're tired of hearing, all the offensive linemen with Daniel Jones went for 99, and no, they get tired of that. They're starting to come out and go, hey, I get a little tippy. The offense started looking like shit again. Well, the offense went, hey, fuck this, I'm going to come after them. Now they're getting a little tippy. And when you get a little tippy, you got 2 top 10 offense and defensive. Didn't I say that was going to happen? You got to be good. It's about the team. It's about the players. It's about the continuity. The offense, they've got it. And defense, they definitely have it. And I tell you, right now it's going to be the defense is going to be higher than the offense, but not that much. And you're going to get that rookie up to speed. And then another rookie up to speed. And all of a sudden, hey, you got a good team.
You got something going.
That's when you got something going. When you have something, you add to it.
Yep.
And if you ain't proud of that, you ain't a Giants fan.
And that's what I was getting to in my video. Go ahead, Nimmer. This show was supposed to be an hour, It's an hour 30 minutes.
My bad, Ty. I also think that people that are like kind of going over like everybody, like I think for example, like I watched the Super Bowl in 2008 and 2011. Plus, I also think that some people that are saying about Daniel Bellinger and stuff like you got to understand that we did not have a tight end that could block like Evan Ingram. Now, so we got to just for him.
Right. I think Daniel Bellinger is going to develop into a pretty doggone good tight end, man. I'm not. Yeah, I think he's going to develop into a pretty good tight end. He's just going to have to take a little time to develop, but we'll see exactly what's going to happen with Daniel Bellinger. I think he's going to do just fine.
Yeah,
but
I feel the same way. I feel the
what
exact
we're
same
going to
way.
do, how we end New York Giants full access. We're going to go over an article real quick. At the end of every full access, we're going to go over an article, no matter where I find it from. I think today's article is going to be from Bleacher Report. All right, it says Giants release first unofficial depth chart, 7 takeaways from it. Hold on, let me get there. Can you guys see it?
Yep.
All right. So it says the New York Giants released their unofficial depth chart ahead of Thursday's preseason game against the Chargers. The quarterback room, Daniel Jones is quarterback 1, as we all know. That's the first takeaway. Running back Gary Brightwell was named the 3rd running back. That's a take. Darius Slayton, receiver number 4. That's the 3rd. The 4th, Tate Crowder is the 2nd inside linebacker, the will linebacker. Aaron Robertson, cornerback number 2. C.J. Board, the primary kickoff return and punt returner. And Jamil Douglas is listed as the backup center. Darnay Holmes, the nickel corner. Rodarius Williams is named the 3rd cornerback as far as the primary backup to the outside. Chris Myrick is named tight end 2. O'Shane Zimenez is 2nd behind Kayvon Thibodeau in the rush position. And Azudu is listed as a primary backup at left guard and left tackle.
Okay.
And Garrett McGinn, the guy that we signed from the New Jersey Generals, is the backup right tackle.
Yep.
So out of those takes right there, which one do you think is the most, I'm not going to say alarming, but the most, like, wow, I didn't think that was going to happen. Which one do you think is the one to wow?
I'll say our rookie Daniel Bellinger. Wow, he's a second tier.
No, Daniel Bellinger is the number 1 tight end. Chris Myrick's the number 2 tight end. Daniel Bellinger is starting.
Oh yeah, I think he might. I don't know. I don't know. There's something about that list that there's 2 things that could possibly happen. Oh God, I don't know. It puts some fear in your mouth.
I mean, NYG, do you have one?
Yeah. The one thing that stood out to me as far as alarming is Jamil Douglas being the backup center. That cat was getting bullied in practice. I mean, like just absolutely destroyed. And I do not want to see him out there if something would have happened to Feliciano.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That's the one I was going for too. Let me get to this comment real quick. When the champ speaks, we listen. Woo! Thanks, Pat, for that great segment supporting the G-Man. Get stronger, Joe. I miss being your wingman. Sub up and hit the like, and NYG can confirm how well I do with the ladies. Woo!
Woo! Yeah.
All right, heavyweight.
I am a little bit surprised that Jamil Douglas is the backup center, that we don't have someone at backup center better than Jamil Douglas to put right there. It's unfortunate that Marcus McKeithen got hurt because that maybe hurt our depth right there. Because maybe McKeithen could have been the backup center. Hell, maybe Shane Lemieux could have been the backup center
Yeah,
and
I'd
let
rather have
Azudu come
Lemieux.
in.
Yeah.
And let Azudu come in and left guard. That's probably what they'll do. But yeah, that's the most shocking thing to me. But our depth chart, I'm not mad at it. Our guy Slayton is actually the number 4 receiver. He's the second receiver to come in if Galloday or Tony gets hurt. So
yeah, the guy they want cut, right?
Yeah, I mean,
if
you want to know the
cut
facts
him, you're
about
gonna have
Darius Slayton,
CJ Boyd as your
right. If you want to know the facts about Darius Slayton, go to NYG's channel, Unpopular Opinion Sports. I'm gonna continue to shout out his channel so you guys recognize that this man does great work. I love his videos and he brings stats every single video to back up what he's talking about. Go check out Unpopular Opinion Sports with NYG22. You won't be mad. You'll be glad that you went to his channel. He has dope content, man. I continue to shout that out, man. I like his content, man. Like, it's seriously dope. But
appreciate you, man. Appreciate it, Pat. Appreciate the chat,
sir.
man. Appreciate the panel, man. Shout out to Joe. Shout out to Nimmer.
Shout out to everybody that was in the chat. Joe, thank you for popping on, brother. The first New York Giants full access. I'm gonna try to do one of these a day. I'm gonna get the grind on the channel a little bit more, almost to 2,000. So that just motivated me to get on even more of a grind.
Yeah.
And hopefully, everybody's 100% and ready to go for the regular season when it get here, because we're gonna have a party this year, man. We're gonna have a lot of fun this year in the regular season.
Carl Bryan, is Joel okay? No disrespect. He's not being upset. He doesn't know the situation. I suffered from a stroke. I had a stroke. I had a brain up on this side, and it went down my right side of my body. I'm coming back though, damn it. I'm working out. I'm getting better day by day. It is what it is. You know, but people want to see me are going to have to understand, wow, you had a stroke, but I'm glad for the support and the confidence in the situation. You guys got anything you want to say? Yeah. Hey, we're working on it.
Last comments by everybody before we get up out of here. NYG, got anything lastly to say before we get up out of here, bro? Nimmer?
No.
You can find me at Unpopular Opinion Sports. Unpopular Opinion Sports. Also, go follow me on Twitter. I'm NYG22. Appreciate you, Pat. For real, man. My brother. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you, Joe. Appreciate you, Nimber. Appreciate everybody supporting the community. And let's go Giants. Let's go.
Yes, let's go.
This team is going to finally get out of the basement. Finally start to come around and start to do some things. I'm cautious, optimistic this year about the Giants. Let's go.
Yes.
Yep, and that's going to be it, folks, for the first episode of New York Giants Full Access. I actually appreciate the turnout. It actually turned out to be pretty good. And
let us go and beat the Patriots. That's my ending.
Yes, we will be calling that game here right on Big Pat Sports Talk Thursday night.
Okay.
Definitely, me and Joe, you know, we call all the Giants games for you guys.
Yeah,
definitely tune into that.
Because, I said Lou request because he wants to be a part too.
Joel and Pat, before you pop that off, what are your guys' predictions? Minus 27 Giants, 11 Patriots.
No, that's what it is. What it is, man.
Man, my prediction is I want to see some production from some of these deaf guys. That's what I want to see. I want to see the first team have a good set the first drive to see if they can be dominant the first drive. If not, I just want to see exactly what this offense is going to be about. And I just want to see guys play. I want to see some healthy players on the damn field.
Yeah, me too.
That's all I want to see.
Me too.
This is one of the most. I think.
Go ahead.
Nah, I was just gonna say I think this is one of the most important preseasons that I can remember as a Giants fan. There's so many
Me
questions
too.
with this team, and these guys are going to need the reps in the preseason. You know, so pay attention to the preseason. I'm definitely gonna be tuned into the preseason. This year I haven't been in the past, but this preseason is very, very important for the New York Giants.
All right. You had it from NYG. Look for the Big Blue crew calling the Big Blue preseason game. And like I said, I'm looking to see what these deaf guys do. I'm really going to be in tune with that preseason game. And hopefully they'll be able to do some film reviews to get myself some practice of the first preseason game. We're going to see that right here on Big Pat Sports Talk. We're going to do some film review. So we're going to have some all 22 film. Can't wait to do that for you guys. Eric Campion, what's going on, bro? Says, honestly, Pat, it seems like Galloday has given up on himself, let alone the Giants. I get we were bad last year, but the dude wouldn't even block. Minimum effort. True.
Yep.
True that.
We have our conversations about Galloday, but I'm gonna sit back and wait to see what he does when in live action and see exactly what's going on. I really won't be able to tell you until week 1. If we go out there week 1 and he only plays about 10 snaps, you know it's over.
Yep.
You know it's over. So, I mean, we won't know the true extent of what Galloday is going through until week 1.
Yep. Until then.
But until then, y'all put out your prayers and everything for Joe. Give him a congratulations because that man has been through a lot and he still comes on here and still gives you the great content, still gives you that smile, still gives you the jokes, and still gives you that passion. I'm proud of him. That's my brother. I love him. Not ashamed to say it here on live. And hopefully we will all be 100% by the season starts. If not, we're still going to give you 110%. Because that's what we do here with the Big Blue crew. Nimmer, thank you for coming on the first full access.
No problem.
Probably going to be doing this around 1 o'clock every day. I think I need to create myself an actual show. I think you guys want to see me a little bit more, so I'm going to create myself an actual show, New York Giants Full Access, where I give you guys a chance to speak your mind about the Giants, because maybe that can clear some of this negativity in the air, and maybe we can get some positivity going on and cheer our team to a 5th Super Bowl. So, until the next episode, peace. And I'm going to hit y'all with some old school, man. Hit y'all with that smoke screen real quick.
Yeah.